Hi, Stephanie. So I was actually just doing a few other readings, and I thought, since I've already just done a very fresh reading for you, and I was sitting at my table, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do your reading, and I've also got the payment for the new questions as well. I thought, since I've done your reading, it's all very fresh in terms of energy. I thought, let's do this 45-minute reading now. So I hope, this gives you way more clarity. We're definitely going to be spending, of course, more time and energy onto this reading. I'm also just going to quickly write down all of the little timestamps that I usually do for a larger reading because it allows me to keep track of time. There we go, pretty much done that very quickly. And it just allows me to make sure that I'm spending enough time on each of your questions to make sure that they're answered properly. Alright, so what I did essentially was I took your previous email and of course I emailed you back the questions that we didn't really touch on. So I have those questions here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then what you've also told me is you have some other things that you want to look into. So this is a 9-question reading, so we can look into the other things that you've mentioned, and I'll do a big spread at the end, a 10-minute spread, where we can cover some more of the information that you have wanted to know about as well. Alright, so that should mean that we cover everything that you essentially want to know, and that should very much so paint a picture, a nice picture for us in regards to what's going on, what's going to happen. Alright, so Stephanie, let's begin straight away. Okay, I already feel very connected to your energies, but I'm just going to tell you once again, I'm connecting to your energies, I'm connecting to spirit guides, myself, and of course tarot. I'm also using this deck for your reading. I just really wanted to use this deck for your reading. I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, I need to use this deck. So this is, I believe it's called The Magic of Tarot, and I really wanted to use these cards. So let's see what also comes through. And yeah, let's see. And yeah, so I need to scroll back up again. Okay, what he thinks about us, about me. All right, let's have a look. 9 of Pentacles. So for the 45-minute readings, I do a 6-card spread for each of your questions. You might look at me and you might look at the screen and think, 6 cards, is that really it? Trust me when I say it paints a huge picture and gives us so much information. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles, all right? So what does he think about us and what does he think about me? So what does he think about the two of you and of course yourself as well? Let's see. One, two, three, four, five, 6. All right, let's have a look. So we have the 9 of Pentacles, which to me, it really, really does seem as though he sees you as someone that's very individual, someone that's very confident. Remember, how we see ourselves and how someone else sees us can be two completely different things, but I really do feel that he sees you in a very good light. He thinks that you're a really good person, so he also doesn't want to mess you around in that sense. So this 9 of Pentacles here is really showcasing very, very strongly that he has strong feelings in that sense towards you. The Devil also shows that he does have this sense of attachment towards you, alright, but he also feels that sometimes it can be a little bit too much, it can be too intense. Now, the other thing I pick up is that the two of you have a spiritual connection, and oftentimes when people are not really awakened to spiritual connections, they can feel that spiritual connections themselves are too much. They feel that it can be toxic, they feel it can be not good. So this is sort of like a misconception that he does have. He feels that he doesn't really feel like it's a spiritual connection, but he definitely does feel like it's maybe too intense, and can be quite toxic. But at the same time, he does have this sort of obsession towards you, which is coming through quite strong with this Devil energy. Has a lot of respect for you and thinks that you're someone very committed to your goals. You are someone that is extremely grown, and definitely he feels that you're much more mature than him as well. Okay, so we've got this King of Pentacles, so he definitely does have a lot of attraction towards you. He can also see himself being with you. That's something that's coming through, right? So there's your single energy and there's his energy. He's already tied up, right? We know that. But this tied up energy, because tarot cards give multiple meanings, this tied up energy is also showcasing quite strongly that he wants to be able to progress out of it. He wants to feel stronger within his own energy. He wants to be able to sort of feel stronger by himself in an individual energy. So that is really his focus right now. Until this whole crumbling does not happen with this whole legal situation, he feels like he's just going around in circles, right? He feels like he cannot move on and progress with his life. So he wants this tower to happen. This tower is, of course, the legal situation. And I know that's come through in this reading about the two of you, but truly when I think about his energy and when he thinks about the two of you, he knows for a fact that he needs to resolve this issue first before anything can ever take place between the two of you. So he knows that he can have something with you, right? But because this issue is so time consuming, it is so much, right? So much. He just feels like he needs to resolve this issue, and then he can finally just breathe and also do what he wants to do. And right now this makes him feel like it's just too much. All right, so he does have respect for you. Things will get better, but once this situation has been resolved, essentially. Okay, so there is progression that can definitely happen in this connection. Things can move forward, things can get better, things can get stronger, right? But right now, he's in two minds. He's in two minds right now. So he's not able to 100% think straight in that sense. So I hope that you can sort of see that. Sorry, my phone keeps going off, but that's because of notifications with the news app. But here's my news to you, and that's showing that he is in two minds about things. Is he going to find a sense of decisiveness? I really genuinely feel he will, but right now, because there's so much going on his plate right now, he wants this to be resolved. He doesn't want to feel like this. He really doesn't want to feel like this. He wants to feel like this. This is how he sees you. He sees you as someone that's very individual, very confident, very strong, someone that he can progress things with, but this is getting in the way right now. So that's what's going on, all right? So hopefully that gave you a really good insight into the situation. I was just rubbing my whiteboard where I wrote down the timestamp for this. Let's just shuffle up. I just shuffled this all upside down. Oh no. Oh dear. All right. Bear with me 1 second. This was what happens when I shuffle the wrong way round. So, Stephanie, I do see things getting better, all right? I know it can be sometimes challenging in situations like this, but it will get better. Okay, let me try shuffling that again. So, what does he think about the whole situation? Okay, so let's have a look. Well, he thinks it's workable. Okay, that's a good thing. I saw that Magician straight away. He definitely feels like this is workable. Okay, we've got all the cards here. We've got a bonus card as well. There we go. He feels like the situation between the two of you is very much so workable. So here we are getting more information now about the two of you. Okay, it shows that he knows that things can progress and things will get better as time goes by. So the Magician here shows progression, it shows growth in this connection, it shows things getting better. So this is a workable situation. It really is. Things can come together for the two of you. There can be a sense of commitment, stability, security, progression. Okay, this is something that he knows can happen, but he also needs to resolve the whole situation first before this can happen. So he thinks that the situation between the two of you is workable. He has feelings towards you, all right? It's very, very obvious. But he also knows that things need to be here resolved. Queen of Swords is also about finding oh God, wow, I can't even speak. It's all about finding a resolution. It's about working things out. The Magician here is about communication, all right? So he needs to work things out here. Queen of Swords is also about karma in that sense, all right? Forget for a little while right now your star signs and things like that. We want to mainly concentrate specifically on the messages coming through. So, has feelings for you, but needs to resolve everything else. And until that isn't resolved, he will feel like this connection with you is difficult. It is too much. It is too intense, can feel toxic at times because of his mindset and how he feels. But deep down in there, he knows that once things get resolved, he can work things out with you. He can progress things with you. There you go. Hangman will become so much more spiritually awakened to this connection, so much more accepting and wanting to take things further. There you go. Wild card, things coming together, things progressing, a sense of completion, and look at that, coming forward and again wanting things to really get stronger between the two of you. So there you go. So that is essentially how he sort of sees this whole situation between the two of you, and how he kind of feels this hope that things can pan out in a much more positive direction. But he also needs to find that resolution, and that is the thing that's sort of mainly on his mind right now, which is why as we do a little bit more reading, we start to get a little bit more deeper inside of him, and we start to sort of pick out all of these other bits of information that are also coming through. So that's something that's coming through quite strong, is that does have feelings towards you, does want to take things further with you, can see you in the future, but only once things have been resolved. And that's when things will start to get so much more awakened for him, for you, the whole situation, the whole shebang, as I like to call it, you know. So that's what we have there. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next question, which is, what's his concerns? So let's have a look and see what his concerns are in regards to this. Wow, that just flew. All right, got our cards here. So what are his concerns? We've got Justice card. Well, justice can... Justice is here to stay, right? Justice really is here to stay. His concerns are, of course, we already know. Like, I feel like I've talked about this 16 times already throughout the course of both of your readings. His concerns are, of course, the situation, the legal situation, right? So justice here is really indicating that before anything can progress for him, he needs to work this situation out. He needs things to be resolved. He needs things to be balanced. He needs things to be just done with. You know, that is his biggest concern with justice. It's there. It's right there on the cards. It's staring us right in the face. But also, Page of Pentacles. Okay, we've got Page of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. He really feels like he can't progress unless this is resolved, because it's something that's just getting in the way of things. We've also got here, we've actually got quite a lot of cards. I feel like I'm doing sort of like a bonus reading for you. But this King of Swords here is all about, it's actually it's pretty much that Aquarius energy that's really coming through, right? Which is your energy, which is quite strong, which is about taking action, taking things further with you, the sense of teamwork and collaboration. But we've also got the Three of Pentacles, which shows that until things are not resolved, he cannot take things further with you. So that is one of his concerns. One of the concerns here is time. He is really hoping that, you know, the time element of things is not going to sort of deter you away from this connection, because he knows he needs time. Time is coming through quite a lot here, because the resolution element of things with the King of Swords and also this Justice card takes time. So Page of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and of course the Three of Pentacles, it all represents time. This is something he's worried about, because he knows for things to get worked out, which, you know, Eight of Pentacles is all about things working. He knows it's going to take time, especially with that earth energy as well. Okay, so that's his main concern here. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords here is a big concern of his, that, you know, it might just not work, because it's going to take time, and he doesn't know if you're going to stick around or if you're just going to sort of exit the situation. Nine of Swords, right? He is in a place right now where he is really stressed. He's very anxious. He is thinking a lot. He is constantly in his mind. He's overthinking a lot, thinking a lot about the situation, wondering what's going to happen, how it's going to progress, when it's going to get resolved, what's going to happen, right? So he is extremely, extremely stressed at this very point in time. He's burdened, you know, really burdened by this whole situation. He also doesn't want his mental and emotional health to affect you at the same time. So he's trying to look out for you in the best way possible. Okay, this Queen of Cups here is really showcasing a very, very strong energy, which is very much so, yeah, I knew it. So I just scrolled up, and that is also his energy as well. So he's trying to protect you, but that's his energy as well. He is feeling quite vulnerable at this time, and when someone feels vulnerable, they often want to sort of hide that, and they want to sort of not speak about it too much. So that is one of his concerns. He sort of does want to deal with things sort of by himself. He wants to be able to get through things by himself, but he also wants to sort of, you know, he wants to protect you in the sense that he doesn't want you to like stick around, you know, just in case. But he also at the same time is hoping that you are understanding, and that you will sort of be there in that sense, but he also doesn't expect you to, because he knows that you deserve better, if that makes sense, because he knows that this whole situation, for it to get resolved, it will very, very much so take time. So for your question in terms of his concerns, those are genuinely his main concerns in terms of this entire connection. Things really can't progress between the two of you until things are properly resolved. So that's the sort of mindset that he's in, which is extremely difficult for him as well. And you may, say one thing, but, do another, or do one thing but mean a completely different other thing. And this is due to all of that stress and that vulnerability that he also feels as well. Okay, so hopefully that answers your concern. But aside from that, it's just this whole situation, right? That is his main concern. Once he gets through that, I feel like things will be much more, straightforward for the two of you. That's what I'm seeing. Alright, so what is going on with him? Let's have a look. Even I want to know, what is going on with him? What's going on with him? Let's see. Okay, so we just got some cards that are flipped over. Yeah, we've got all of our cards here. So we've got 7 cards, I believe. Knight of Cups, Magician, Knight of Pentacles. There you go. There it is. I can see it already. Empress and the Queen of Swords. He is trying to just get things resolved. Okay, Queen of Swords energy is about wanting a resolution. It's about wanting things to just get better, to get over the situation, to get through the situation, to find a resolve, to just be able to move on and move forward. That's what he wants. He wants to move on and move forward. That's what he wants to do. He also knows that it's going to take time. So he wants to move on to better, bigger things. He also wants to, really progress towards true love, happiness, joy. But he also knows that he must sort of move away from the motherly figure of the partner. All right, so this is very, very important. And when I say, motherly figure, it's because we have the Empress, which is a very feminine energy. So this is referring to the partner essentially as well. And it's also referring to him wanting, that genuine Empress love as well. So this 5 of Swords shows conflict. It shows that this situation is truly a conflict, right? It's very, very all over the place. It truly is. We kind of already figured that out. But he wants to be able to move on from that and move forward from that as well. So what is going on with him right now? He wants to move past it. Does he feel chaotic? Does he feel conflicted? Does he feel just so all over the place? Absolutely. 5 of Swords is about arguments. It is about disagreements. It is about not feeling great. It is about conflict. It is about confusion. It is about not being able to understand why things just can't be resolved ASAP. It's that kind of energy. And the Sun here shows that he's trying to, somewhere deep down, he's trying to think positive, that things can move forward, that things can get better, that things can progress, because what he wants is, he wants things to be resolved. He wants things to get better. He wants to feel better. He just wants things to be better, essentially. So that's what's going on with him. He wants a resolution, especially with this Queen of Swords energy. He wants to really, truly be in a state of, I want someone that I love. I want to be able to progress towards someone that I love. So it's that kind of energy, especially with these 2 knights that we have as well. It's a very strong energy because it really strongly is showcasing that he wants to progress towards bigger, better things that emotionally serve him, that make him feel better, and that also give him the opportunity to manifest something beautiful and something exciting in his life, which is not creating this conflict, this sadness, this confusion, arguments. He wants to be able to progress and manifest things that are beautiful, that are exciting, that are what he feels he is destined to have. So that's what he wants, right? He wants to be able to progress towards these things without all of this hassle, without all of this. So that's what's going on within him right now. He feels like this 5 of Swords, but it will change. 5s in tarot are about change. So even though he feels like this right now, he's going to start to feel much more positive about things, and that is also going to come his way as well. So I hope you can see that he literally just wants things to be resolved, and he just wants to be able to move on with his life. That is what I'm seeing, and he wants to be able to, progress forward in his life by feeling better. It's what he wants. It really is what he wants. So that's what I'm seeing there. And now I'm going to move on to the next question. Okay, so your next question, I'm just going to scroll up. Okay. So what does he want to do next? Let's have a look. I'm just going to shuffle the cards. Nine of Swords is back again. Sun card. There you go. He wants to move on from all the negativity. Stress. Okay, one more card. Alright, so there we go. Moon. Page of Swords. So he wants to be able to essentially control his emotions. He wants to also control himself, be just so much more balanced with himself. So the Moon here shows that his emotions are totally just all over the place. You know, he wants to feel so much better. So this Nine of Swords that came out with the Sun card very early on when I was shuffling is really showing that there is definitely a lot of overthinking that's happening right now. There's this sort of feeling of being all over the place and wanting to just move on from this energy. So that is something that he is going to want to balance out, because he knows that things are going to take a little bit of time in this situation. He's sort of preparing and has prepared for that. You know, he knows that it's not going to be as quick as he probably wants it to be. I mean, you know, these kinds of situations can take a fair share of time. So he wants this to be as over as possible, but he's also been quite realistic in knowing that it's not going to be over, you know, in 2 days. It's going to take more time than that for sure. So this Nine of Swords shows here that he is preparing himself emotionally, even right now, to sort of deal with this sort of head on and to not be, you know, so in this energy, so that he does feel a bit more better, even though emotionally deep down he is going to feel all over the place. He's going to feel very hot and cold. He is going to feel like he's not knowing what he's doing, and he's going to feel sort of all over the place. But at the same time, this Nine of Swords energy is really showcasing very, very strongly that there is progression here, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even physically as well. There's so much more progression here, which he is going to be, you know, progressing with. So the Four of Pentacles shows that, you know, he's going to be holding on to the situation in a much better way, a better way, which is going to solve, sort of solve this fear within him and also stress within him. It shows that he's just going to hold on to things, you know, in a better way. The Four of Pentacles shows that he has sort of accepted that things are going to take a little bit more time, so he is very much so prepared for that. And then also this Seven of Pentacles shows that, you know, he's just able to reflect on things in a much, much better way in regards to this whole legal situation. And the thing is, you know, it's kind of sad. I know that not as much information is really coming out in regards to you, but I definitely still feel that, you know, once the situation is over, things can progress nicely between the two of you. Things can get much better between the two of you. Things can feel much more uplifted between the two of you, and there's just a sense of progression where things can really come together in that sense for the both of you. But it also requires time, it requires patience, and it really, really does require this sense of, you know, it just really requires this sense of knowing that in time things will get better, but also that he is dealing with something that is quite big, and for him to sort of deal with this, he's going through, you know, certain emotions. He's starting to adapt to, you know, the situation a little bit better. He's starting to face things a bit more head on. He's starting to reflect in a much more sort of a much more progressive way than, you know, this Nine of Swords is very stressful. And you know, whereas before he just wants to move on from the situation, now he has to actually deal with it, because that's, you know, part of the process. So essentially that's taking up most of his time and most of his energy right now. But we already kind of know that, you know, things will progress between the two of you once this situation is resolved and in much better shape, essentially. Alright, so I really hope that that gives you more clarity. I know that it's frustrating when there's not as much information that comes out in regards to you, but in a situation like this, I mean, his mind is just so heavily focused on what's going on, which is sort of like the main thing in his life right now. And, you know, being able to deal with that head on. So I hope that gives you more clarity in regards to that as well. But, you know, the next question is going to be very telling as well, because that's to do with your connection. So let's have a look. Okay, so let's have a look. Did he change his mind about our connection, etc.? Okay, let's have a look. Yep, okay, we've got all of our cards here. So, you know, did he change his mind about our connection? No. I'll be very, very honest, okay? I don't feel that he's changed his mind necessarily. I just feel like he's got this whole new avenue of things that he needs to figure out, sort out, which is taking so much more space and time on his plate. So that's what's going on, especially with this Two of Wands. You know, it's something else that is essentially distracting him. It's something else that he needs to figure out. So I don't feel that he's changed his mind necessarily, but he's trying to find a resolution. He's trying to find a balance, especially with everything else that is going on right now in his life, including this whole situation, which just keeps coming out in the reading. It really does. So I don't feel that he's changed his mind necessarily about you. It's that he knows he has to find this resolution. He needs to work on things here. Okay, I don't feel that he's changed his mind about you at all, because you come across as this Queen of Swords. Now, in every spread, obviously, the cards that come out, even if they repeat, they mean different things, because questions are completely different. The energies that they're attached to can be very different, and also spirit guides are giving me lots of messages at the same time as well. So you are, of course, an Aquarius, and so this Queen of Swords energy is very much so tied to your energy, right? It is very, very strong in that sense, and it's coming through that he still does think about you. He still does, but he also has to figure out balance and think about how to progress with this entire situation in regards to the legal issue. All right, so he knows he needs to figure that out before things can really progress with you. He hasn't changed his mind. He's just simply sort of put it at the back for now. Right? Wheel of Fortune shows that. It shows in time things will progress between the two of you, the wheel will turn. But right now what's essentially happening is that it's sort of on the back burner because of this whole issue. He wants to be able to figure it out. He wants to find peace. He wants to find balance. He wants to find that resolution. He wants things to be okay, and then he will progress with it. And so he hasn't changed his mind, but again, like we saw in the spread as well in regards to his concerns, he really, really, truly wants to make sure, very strongly, wants to make sure that you are respected, and that he has that respect towards you. It comes across in this particular reading as well, but he can't expect you to wait. So, that is something he knows that, right now he needs to really focus and figure this out, but he doesn't expect you to wait. But he also feels that, on another hand, that things could really work out with you. It's just that this is the thing that's taking the most time. So I really do feel that he hasn't changed his mind necessarily about this. He's just sort of put it on the back burner, and he's hoping that, at the end of the day, if you find someone else, then that's really great for you. If you don't, then hopefully that the two of you can be together. So that is something he thinks of. We do have this King of Wands, which shows this energy of, having a lot of deep-rooted attraction towards you, wanting to pursue you, wanting to take things further, but in time, all right? In time, because he needs to resolve this issue. Hierophant, he knows that he can have something really solid with you, something very stable, something that's just really exciting for the long term, something that is beautiful, inviting, fun, commitment long term. He knows that, but he also yet again knows that he needs to resolve this issue first and foremost before anything else can happen in his life. He knows that he really needs to figure out this whole situation, especially with the Sun card, and then there's no holding back with you, right? Things cannot be held back anymore because there is progression for the two of you once everything gets resolved. So he hasn't necessarily let go of this connection. He hasn't changed his mind. He simply had to sort of put everything on the back burner because he's got bigger fish to fry. I know that sounds really terrible. I just hit my hand on the table as well, but he's just got so much on his plate in regards to this issue that it just seems like, you know, this is something he just needs to put on the side for now, which I know sounds awful, but you know, and he knows that, you know, once things get resolved, he'll be in a much, much better place emotionally, mentally, and physically, spiritually, to be able to give you more time as well. So that's essentially what I'm seeing right now. Now we're going to move on to your next question, all right? So let's have a look. And then after this question, we're going to look into the other two main points. There were a few points that you mentioned on your email, so that's what we'll do. But let's just finish off the last question here. Okay, so this is actually quite interesting, this question. Can you see what kind of connection we have? High-level soulmate, twin flame, and etc. So let's see what kind of connection you have. So you definitely have a spiritual connection. Okay, we know this. We know this from the start. We really do. Should we see what this first card actually is? Five of Pentacles. Remember, we're looking at the connection now. One more card. It's Twin Flame. I feel very strongly that this is a Twin Flame card because of the nature of these cards. So essentially in a Twin Flame card, there are lessons that need to be learnt. There is strength that sometimes needs to be gained. Most of the time actually needs to be gained. And when the two of you come into each other's lives, you sort of expose areas of each other that need to be worked on, that need to be healed as well. It can be extremely all over the place. It can be very hot and cold. There can be issues, obstacles, challenges that can be presented, which of course have been in this situation as well, right? So of course in this situation you've got an obstacle right now. This is an obstacle that will be taken out with time, but that's something that comes through. There can be the sense of feeling lonely or abandoned or not understanding why certain things are happening. One second it can be amazing and the next second it's like, what the heck just happened? So I really feel that the two of you have a twin flame connection, and this is something that's coming through very strong in the cards. It's something that is, I mean, I saw that devil and I was like, yep, this is exactly what it is. So he also at times feels like this is very intense, you know, in terms of the connection, and as he becomes much more awakened as time goes by, he will be able to understand this connection. But what's happening is the two of you right now, currently you're learning lessons. He has to learn lessons of, you know, getting through these obstacles, these challenges, and also following his heart over his mind. And the big lesson here for you as well is to really follow yourself, your intuition, you know, building up your aura, your strength. I'm not saying that you're not strong, you're a very strong person, but there's always room for progress. And I feel like, you know, in a situation like this, use the Uranus retrograde, for example, which we have into 2020, which will really help you to focus on your goals, hobbies, dreams. So if there's something you really want to do, it's a great time to do it right now with the help of the Uranus retrograde that we have. This will also help you to take more energy off of him, putting it into yourself, and sort of letting him take the lead in terms of things. You know, when he's ready, he will come to you, he will come towards you, he will want to progress things with you. So creating that space for him to come towards you is also very, very crucial, you know, releasing, healing parts of you, things that need to, you know, be healed and released. So both of you are mirroring each other, truly, in this sense, okay? Of course, you're not both literally mirroring each other because the same things are not happening in both of your lives, but spiritually, there are some very, very similar things that you're both learning. You're learning a lot about yourselves, you're learning a lot about your feelings and how you are as people, and you're growing each and every day. So this is a very, very strong twin flame connection, also with this King of Swords as well. There it is. When you've got the King of Swords and you've got an energy like the Devil with the Five of Pentacles, it is a very, very, very twin flame-like connection. One second it can be amazing to the point where you just know that this is the thing that is right for you, and the next second you're like, but I am just standing here by myself. What happened? Okay, so this is a twin flame connection. Got another bonus card here, right? One second, very, you know, so much attraction, so much chemistry, so many things building up, so much progression, and then the next second it's like, but what's happening? Like, why is this too much? You know, especially on his side, and then of course thinking with this Five of Pentacles, like, Why are there challenges? Why are there obstacles? Why are things happening in this way? It's because there's a twin flame connection. Thing is, I'm seeing there being a union between the two of you and things getting better in time. All right, so there is a union here, but also there are lessons that need to be learned as well. And part of this lesson is for you to feel so much more confident and stronger by taking this energy off of him and putting it into yourself as well. So one of those lessons here that the universe wants you to do is to really focus on yourself right now. Give yourself all of that energy. Very crucial in a twin flame connection. Also, Nine of Wands here. The two of you think about each other, right? You do. So you can feel each other's energies spiritually as well. So this is a very strong twin flame connection for sure. Absolutely. All right. So now that we have those answered, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read through your email. So I've shuffled these cards, and then I think I'm going to do a 12-card spread, and we will go through what you've mentioned in the email. So we have here. So you said here we did tap into his legal situation with his ex-wife, and then is going to pan out last time. So this time we could focus more on our connection. So the other questions above, I also wanted to see if you can see from the reading that if he would actually come towards me after this divorce situation. Okay, so we kind of already answered that, or at least be calmed down a little bit, or due to the time being that we aren't communicating much and this physical distance we have right now, his feelings could fade and he won't actually come towards me afterwards. If you could see a future between us. All right, let's have a look. This is for sure very, very interesting. So, of course, the legal situation came up a lot. Let's focus now really, truly on the two of you. And also, I do feel that after this whole legal situation, he will come towards you. All right, that is something I'm seeing. But let's have a look and see, the future. The future. This card is really wanting to come out. It's Temperance. Temperance is about union, okay? It's also about time, giving things time. In time, I do feel that things will get better, things will get stronger, things will get better. That's what I'm seeing. Things will get better. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yep. Just make up this spread. Now we've got Temperance, we've got the Death card, we've also got the Lovers here, we've also got this Ten of Cups as well. Now, I hope you can see what I see. We have the Five of Wands as well, we have the King of Cups, Knight of Swords, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords, look at that. Six of Cups, oh my goodness, you won't believe what we have here as well. Two of Cups. Oh my goodness, Four of Wands. Two of Pentacles. There you go, there's your outcome. It's amazing, it really is. Alright, so after this whole divorce situation, right, which is indicated by death, this shows a transformation in your connection. It shows things progressing. It's like endings and new beginnings. So he is quite literally going through an ending, and then it's going to lead to what? A new beginning. So this Ten of Swords here shows that ending, right? He cannot be more hurt than he has been in that situation, and he's also moving on from that. Okay, that's the ending there that's coming through quite strong. It's about that resolution, right? Trying to trying to resolve the whole situation, trying to move on from it. So death here is showing that death, in that sense, and also a new beginning where things can progress, things are better, things are so much more better than what they were before. So this is showing a transformation in your connection. It's showing as time goes by, things are going to come together. There is a sense of union. It's a very warm, fuzzy card about emotions and things progressing and things just feeling better. And after this whole situation, he comes towards you, especially with this Knight of Swords, comes towards you with more and more communication, is able to take things further. Any conflict, any chaos, anything here is resolved, because Fives and Tarot are about change. So any conflict that he does feel, his feelings towards you will be very much so revived, especially after all of this ending. He will feel so much love and so much joy towards you, especially with the Lovers, right? This is about warmth, joy, happiness, positivity with the sun at the top. We've got an angel here which shows divine timing. It shows that the timing is right, that he becomes much more ready. He's also spiritually awakening to this connection. And also we have the trees and the fruits and the flowers, right, which shows things growing in this connection, things getting stronger, union, joy, happiness, feelings, really just sort of being completed, things coming together for the two of you, things progressing. He doesn't have any obligations to anyone else, so he can really focus on your connection and focus on this whole situation, you know, where he's able to put a lot of this chaotic energy to rest. To rest. Death. There's the ending, right? So all of that is going to end, and after the ending that we saw, as you mentioned, you know, after the whole legal situation, that ending, he comes towards you. And I don't feel that he's going to forget about you. That's not what comes through in this card whatsoever, especially with the Lovers, Temperance. You know, no matter how much time it's been, it's like you just pick up where you left off from in that sense, where things do feel so much better, so much stronger. Regardless of how you left off, it's about, you know, going back to a place where things are just so great, you know. And then also Seven of Cups, you know, your dream, your future sort of opening up in front of your eyes, you know, looking at it and feeling like, wow, you know, it's not dead, you know. So death here is an indication yet again to the past, not the future of your relationship. This is the past of his connection ending, right, in regards to the whole legal situation. King of Cups is about feeling so much stronger in his own energy, feeling so much more better, emotionally more grounded, much more accepting to the situation, following his heart, and really just accepting everything that's going on and feeling really, really good. And then also balance, right? Regardless of what's happened in the past, this is about balance for the long term. It's about being able to work things out, progress things. And also then you've got the Four of Wands, which is the twin flame card. So this is about things going further between the two of you, things feeling so much better for the two of you. It's also about attraction. It's about, you know, the four walls of a home as well. That's something that's coming through quite strong. And I'm not surprised, because we do have the Ten of Cups, which also signifies this home sense. But also this Four of Wands is very, very strong in the sense that it's really showcasing this a sense of just joy and happiness. And also 1111, right? That everything has happened for a purpose. It's happened for a reason. You're on this path for a specific reason. And as time goes by, you'll be able to understand why things have happened the way that they've happened. Both of you are essentially twin flames. You've got lessons, you know, that the two of you have truly learnt, and that just makes the connection even stronger as time goes by. You've got the Two of Cups here, which again has another angel shot. So again, it shows divine timing, and it also shows love. It shows being on the same wavelength, mutual attraction, mutual appreciation, and also offering your cups to one another and being very clear and transparent about how you want things to progress, but also him quite literally telling you and showing you that as well. So you don't worry, you know where you stand. That's what I meant. Six of Cups here, beautiful spiritual energy, which is showing, you know, the cup quite literally being offered to you. You can see that, right? Cup being offered to you. It's also about him initiating things with you. So when he's ready, he will initiate things with you. When all of this has finished, okay, he will need a little bit of time just to be able to sort of recover from it all, and then he will quite literally come to you and then want to progress things with you. So the future between the two of you, the outcome is beautiful. It shows balance, it shows attraction, it shows chemistry, it shows no matter how much time the two of you have from one another, things will just progress. You know, it's that kind of connection that you see with spiritual connections, where there's just that instant attraction, there's that instant progression, things just manifest, bloom, grow, and just sort of keep going, you know, in that sense. So that's something that's coming through super, super strong in this reading, and it's just amazing, literally amazing to see that. But wow. Whew. Taking a big deep breath, like exhale, you know, out. Wow, literally wow. I mean, the fact that you have the Ten of Cups, the Six of Cups, Two of Cups, Four of Wands, the Lovers, this is not small energies. These are huge energies for love. When I do a love reading, you know, sometimes just to get one of these cards, you know, is big, but to have this many of them is absolutely huge, Stephanie. So I hope that, you know, this gives you more of sort of like an outlook. I'm glad we did quite a big spread on this, because I know that, you know, probably throughout this reading you would have been like, I don't want to hear any more about this legal situation. Truth being told, of course, that's something that's taking up quite a lot of his space in his mind and in his energy. But we got a very, very solid, very clear answer for the two of you in regards to the outcome and, of course, the progression of things as well. So I hope you can see this, and I hope that, this gives you lots of clarity, lots of information. Really hope that it helps you in your path and just gives you, the information that you need. Again, it's really important for you, to focus on yourself, your goals, hobbies, dreams, all that kind of stuff. You are twin flames, and of course, the Lovers is ruled by Gemini, and Gemini is the twins. So again, we've got another twin reference there as well. In the two of you are very much so mirroring each other, like in this Two of Cups card, you do have a spiritual connection as well. So I just feel like, take this time for yourself. It's very, very important, and let him come towards you. All right. So Stephanie, this is your reading. I really hope that it gave you. Wow, my English is so great today. I hope it gave you so much clarity, and I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and take care. Bye.